In episode 72, I talked about the mind and muscle connection, which is really important during strength training. And if you haven't listened to that episode, go ahead and do that. It's pretty good. I get better with age of this podcast. But I wanted to share with you in this semi-quick episode how I am practicing being peaceful and present. Welcome to Reps and Redemption, a podcast for moms who want to prioritize their health and build strength from the inside out. Hey there, mama. I know you long to find the joy in all the things homemaking and motherhood while showing your kids that you don't have to give up on yourself, your goals, or your desired quiet time with Jesus just to be a good mom. I'm your host, Ashley Harvey, former college athlete, wife, homeschooling, faith-filled homemaker, mom of 4, nutrition and strength training coach. If you're ready to take control of your health, lose fat, build muscle, and faith, you're in the right place. Grab that iced coffee and let's dive in. Like I mentioned in episode 72, when we're thinking about the motion and really focusing on the muscle that we're exercising, we're going to get a better workout and it's going to do us a lot more good. And I think the same applies to being present. And I have learned that, especially my 2 little ones, do so much better when I am actually present and they can tell. And I'm not saying like I have an idea and I don't write it down or something like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. But in this fast-paced culture, and I have an Apple Watch because I like the fitness tracker. I know it's not a super crunchy thing to have, but there's things that I do have and I do that, kind of distract me from maybe spending the morning with them, or maybe even now, like just having to plan this particular show out and not being, unavailable. When it comes to strength training and building muscle, I know, and like I said in the episode I talked about mind-muscle connection, focus is extremely important. And I have learned that as a homemaker, a mom of 3 daughters, soon to be a newborn baby boy, I'm learning that to be peacefully present in my day, I need to take away the noise. And what that has looked like for me recently is honestly just getting off social media pretty much 90%. And I'm going to talk about what I've taken away, and then I'm also going to add in things that I've kept or additions. But as far as the noise goes, and especially, in the last 4 weeks of this pregnancy, I am just, and by the time you hear this, baby boy might be here. So I just know that my time is so valuable, and one of the many reasons I love being a homemaker and a stay-at-home mom and the main caretaker of my children and my home is because I don't want anyone else to do it but me. And yeah, we get worn out pretty quickly and we can escape fairly easily with our devices. However, with my, I guess I should say, situation lately, I have been prone very much to fear and anxiety, over my kids, their safety, things going on in this world, things that are, the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. We just find ways of doing things even more, evil than before. And then that leads me to down just crazy rabbit holes of how to keep my kids safe. And now I'm going to have a little boy. How do I teach him to be a godly man? And I've noticed that even at the gym, I could be on my phone most of the time. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, especially if you have a plan. But if you don't have a plan and you're just in Scroll City, anything can just come into your eyes, your mind, your thoughts, and just take up space there. And I have noticed when I have my phone with me all the time, and like I said, I have a watch. I love the fitness part of my Apple Watch. And, it's constantly like telling me, you have a notification, you have a notification. And there is a dopamine hit that comes with getting a message or getting a like or something like that. And I just have learned over the last several months, I kind of wish I would have done it sooner, that it just does not add to my life. And I needed to take some things away to make space for this new season, and honestly, just things that really matter. And to me, that's, I am keeping the habits that I have built with my spiritual life. I'm hoping to get back to where I was, a long time ago. But, yeah, we can't read for an hour or two like we used to before kids, but we can make 15, 20 minutes in the morning happen. It is doable, and that's not going to change. I want it to be an in-depth time, my quiet time. I want the time with my kids to be fun, funny, in-depth, serious, goofy, all of the things. And I want to be there. And this isn't to say, if I get an idea for the podcast, or if there's something like, oh, I really want to make that sourdough recipe and I need to, jot something down, or they're finally doing independent play and they don't really, there's no need for a few minutes or maybe even 30 minutes, then sure, I might put on a podcast I've been wanting to listen to. But I always have, I shouldn't say always, this is new. I've implemented a plan of, okay, these are my top 3 shows that I like to listen to. There's this tutorial on YouTube I really want to watch or listen to. So I actually tend to write those down either in my planner or on a notepad in my phone. So when the time does present itself, I can be intentional with it instead of just scrolling and consuming content. So I have taken a huge step back from that. So you won't hear me talk about my Instagram anymore. I'm currently on the fence with Facebook. I do love Facebook for Facebook groups, but again, a lot of the things that would just come up on my feed from even some of the groups that I'm in were just not intentionally, like nothing really, I don't get bad ads or anything for the most part, but just, really sad stories or really fear-filled stories. And I just can't right now. And I think it is partially hormonal. Obviously, some of us, though, are prone to anxiety and fear. And I know that it has been in my family. My grandmother, for example, I love her. She's still one of my favorite people ever, partying with Jesus now. But she was very prone to fear, especially like the last 10 to 20 years of her life, like an incredible amount of fear, and just how she lived and what she did and what she decided not to do because she was so afraid. And so I do need to be more diligent with that. And that brings me to, if I am, so anxious and so fearful, how can I be present? And how can I be present if I'm constantly, consuming this stuff and then my brain's just going, it's just exhausting. And I wanted to, when I sit to play Barbies with my kids, or I sit to have a snack, or we go to the park, or I don't want to feel like I need my phone. So that's like the other reason. Like I don't want to be glued to it, and I don't want it to control me. I want to pick and choose when I do what I do. And like I said, I'm on the fence with Facebook because of groups and because of the group that I have, but it is very small, and I think there is still opportunity for me to build community outside of social media, whether that's utilizing email marketing or, some other form of connection. There are others like Circle, things like that. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go, and I'm just not, excuse me, in the season right now to really focus on constantly posting in a group that's kind of quiet. No offense, but small groups are very quiet. And I want to spend most of the time that I do have taking care of my home, spending time with the Lord, spending time with my kids, and then, obviously working out. Exercise is super important to me, and, still keeping that habit in, even though my workouts have changed right now, but also just being mindful of this is my passion project. Like, I don't have to be enslaved to doing it the way that everyone else does. And I love recording these episodes. I especially love interviews. I love learning about health and fitness. I love the aspects of coaching that I've been learning about. I can't wait to coach some of you. I think it's going to be amazing. And I want to make space for that. And I just feel called to create space. And by creating space, I will be able to be more peacefully present. So I also have found that my workouts, when I'm in this state of just not, I have a plan of when I'm going to use my phone, what I'm going to use it for, and what podcasts I'm going to listen to. And I've just noticed that my workouts are better. And I think it is the mind-muscle connection that I'm able to focus more. I'm not just kind of like all over the place, or what am I going to watch, or what am I going to listen to, or, who do I need to text back? Like, I think it's just a better place to be. And so I just wanted to share how, especially in these last 4 weeks of being pregnant, trying to stay fit and healthy and trying to get my protein in. And it's super hard because I said at dinner tonight, all I really want is cereal. I'm going to be honest. But I didn't just eat cereal. I haven't had cereal yet. But we can help ourselves by knowing what we're prone to and knowing what challenges us or distracts us from being present. And when my husband comes home from work, I don't want to be thinking about the Instagram post I saw that triggered my anxiety. I just think that, there might be a time and a place for me to enter back into that realm. We'll see. But I feel so much better about it. And like I said, my patience is higher. I'm not glued to holding my phone, checking things, even if it is a wonderful message from some of you. You have my email address. And I'm going to work on other ways and just really, I've said before, especially for this show, for Reps and Redemption, I want God ideas for this show. I don't want just good ideas. And I want this to ultimately last and to glorify Him and to help others, especially homemakers, moms, homeschooling moms, to want to get healthy, want to work on themselves, because we do matter and we can forget that in the chaos of motherhood that is beautiful. And that's what I want. And I don't think I need to add a bunch of other stuff, especially in the season that I'm in right now. So I hope this has encouraged you to really think about one thing. What do you need to either add to your day, your week, your month, so your day to day, or what do you need to take away to help you be more peacefully present? And not only is this thing, and I'm sure when I just asked that, you thought of something. Not only, and maybe for you, it's like, what? For me to be more peacefully present, I really need to get to the gym. That could be it. I am already there, except I don't have my car. It's getting fixed right now. But aside from that, I'm already there. So I refuel in that time, in that hour to hour and a half that I get to go to the gym. My kids get to go play and have fun. Yes, sometimes I'm a little worried about them. Are they okay? Are they having fun? Are other kids being nice? Are they being nice? Yes, of course. But I get to refuel, recharge, and it does help me be present. So maybe that's yours. Maybe you're like, you know what? I need to get somewhere, at least Monday to Thursday. Like, do it. If this is going to help you be more present and be a better mom, go for it. I mean, talk with your husband about it and make sure it's cool, because it does cost a little bit of money. But if that's what you need to add, so that was an example. And then for taking away, I'm just sharing with you today what I'm taking away. And it's just the constant consumption of social media. So, and I don't want to say I was constant at it, but I would do it in my free time, or even maybe once in a while when my kids were there. And like I said, for me, it was more fear-inducing and anxiety-filled, and and the other end of that spectrum would be like, okay, I'm not doing enough in my podcast and in this business that I really want to get off the ground. And that's simply not true. I'm doing what I can in this season. I don't need to, fill my mind and my heart with things that are not from the Lord. So I wanted to share that with you, and I hope that you think of something that you can add to your day-to-day or take away that would help you be more peaceful and more present. And I'd love to know what you have decided on. And since I'm not on Instagram at the moment, I think you should email me, repsandredemption@gmail.com. I would love to know yours. And I'm going to start doing, at least right now, some Q&A episodes. So if you have a question related to faith, being bold in your faith, and also health, fitness, nutrition, I can answer that question or have a guest on the show that can answer the question. I would love to hear from you. I will see you next time. If this episode inspired you, will you share with a friend? I would be so grateful if you would leave a podcast review on your listening app of choice. Remember, the content provided in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please seek the advice of your qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical or health condition. Remember, be bold, mama, and live well. Until next time.